Welcome, friend. If you're here tonight, love might feel like a threat. The closer someone gets, the more you want to run. When they say, "I love you," your heart doesn't feel warm. It clenches. You're not alone. You can close your eyes now. Let your body settle wherever you are. There's nothing you need to prove here, nothing you need to defend, no one you need to convince. For the next hour or so, you have permission to simply be. If this feels familiar, this terror of the very thing you crave most, I want you to know something. You're not broken. This isn't a character flaw. This isn't weakness. This is a learned response. Your nervous system, at some point in your life, learned that closeness equals danger. That love comes with conditions. That you have to earn it, or that it will be taken away. And tonight, lying here in the quiet, those old fears might feel especially loud. But here's what matters. What was learned can be unlearned. Tonight, we'll explore why love can feel like a threat when you want it most. We'll hear stories of people who felt exactly this way and found their way to something softer. We'll discover what the Buddha understood about attachment and fear. What modern science confirms about how we can rewire these patterns. And most importantly, we'll practice tools you can use right now, tonight and every night after. Not to become perfect, not to never feel afraid, but to learn that you can feel the fear and stay anyway, that you can be loved and believe it. Let's begin by understanding what you're feeling right now. Imagine this. Someone you care about says, "I love you." These should be the sweetest words, but instead your chest tightens. Your breath gets shallow. And that voice starts, "They don't mean it. They don't know me yet. When they see the real me, they'll leave." Or maybe it's been months, years even, and they've stayed. They've shown up. They've been patient. But you still can't shake the feeling that it's temporary. That any moment they'll realize you're not worth it. So you watch. You analyze every text message, every silence, every change in tone. Did they seem distant today? Why did they take so long to respond? Are they losing interest? And late at night, lying here, your mind won't stop, replaying conversations, searching for signs, preparing for the inevitable abandonment. Or maybe you do something else. Maybe you push them away first. You pick fights. You test their love. You pull back when they get close. Not because you want to. Because some part of you believes, if I leave first, it won't hurt as much when they do. Your body feels it too. That knot in your stomach when they don't text back right away. The tightness in your throat when they say, "We need to talk." The exhaustion of constantly being on guard. You want to relax into love, but you can't. Because every fiber of your being is screaming, "Don't trust this. It's not safe." If this feels familiar, I need you to hear something. You are not alone in this. Right now, at this very moment, millions of people are lying awake, with this same fear, this same exhausting hypervigilance, this same terror of the very connection they crave. Psychologists call this anxious attachment. And here's what research shows. About 70% of people have some form of insecure attachment. 70%. This isn't rare. This isn't you being difficult or damaged. This is your nervous system doing what it learned to do a long time ago. Maybe when you were young, love came with conditions. I'll love you if you're good. I'll love you when you achieve. I'll love you, but I might leave. Or maybe someone did leave. A parent who wasn't there. An early relationship that ended in betrayal. A pattern of people who said they loved you, then disappeared. Your nervous system learned closeness equals danger. Being vulnerable means getting hurt. If I need someone, they'll leave. And that learning got wired deep. So deep that even when someone safe shows up, someone who genuinely loves you, that old alarm system still goes off. It's not about them. It's about a wound that hasn't healed yet. But here's what matters most. This pattern can change. What was learned in relationship can be relearned in relationship, with yourself first, then with others. People have walked this path before you. They felt this same terror, this same exhaustion, this same desperate fear of being left, and they found their way through. Not by becoming perfect, not by never feeling afraid, but by learning to stay present with the fear, without letting it control them, by discovering that they could be loved and actually receive it, by finding safety, not in control or distance, but in showing up honestly. Scared, but showing up anyway. Let me tell you about 3 people who understand exactly what you're feeling. Their stories might help you see your own path forward. Let me tell you about Nina. She's 32, a graphic designer, works remotely from Portland. On paper, her life looked good. Successful career, a partner, Ben, who adored her. They'd been together 2 years, but Nina was exhausted. Not from work, from the constant monitoring. Every morning, she'd wake up and check. Is he still here? Does he still love me? Did I do something wrong yesterday? Ben would text, "Good morning," and she'd analyze it. Just 2 words, no emoji. Is he upset? He'd be quiet during dinner, and her mind would spiral. He's distant. He's pulling away. This is it. She'd test him, pick small fights to see if he'd stay, pull back to see if he'd chase. It was exhausting for both of them, but Nina couldn't stop, because underneath it all was this voice. You're not enough. He'll figure it out eventually. Then Ben proposed. He planned this beautiful evening, got down on one knee, said everything she'd ever wanted to hear, and Nina had a panic attack right there. Not because she didn't love him, but because the voice got so loud, "You don't deserve this. He doesn't really know you." When he sees the real you, he'll regret this. That was her rock bottom, sitting on the bathroom floor crying while the man she loved waited outside confused and hurt. The next day, Nina called her therapist, and her therapist asked a simple question. Whose voice is that? Nina stopped. What do you mean? That voice saying you're not enough. Whose voice is it? And suddenly, Nina knew. It was her father's voice. Her father, who loved her but only when she achieved, who praised her report cards, but was silent when she needed comfort, who said, "I'm proud of you," when she won awards but never said, "I love you," just because. She'd spent her whole life trying to earn love through perfection. And when Ben offered love freely, no conditions, her nervous system didn't know what to do with it. It felt dangerous. So Nina started practicing something different. Every morning, before checking her phone, before analyzing Ben's mood, she'd sit for 5 minutes, hand on her heart, and say, "I'm safe to be loved. I don't have to earn this. I'm enough right now as I am." At first, it felt like lying. The words felt hollow, but she kept going, and she started telling Ben her fears instead of acting them out. "I'm feeling scared you're pulling away. This is my pattern. Can you reassure me?" And you know what happened? Ben did, every time. Not because she forced him, but because when she was honest about her fear, he could actually help. It's been a year since the proposal. They're married now, and Nina still feels the fear sometimes. That voice still shows up. Are you sure he loves you? But now, she recognizes it. Oh, there's that old voice again. That's not the truth. That's just old data. And she can let it be there without letting it run the show. Nina's story shows us something important. The voice saying, "You're unlovable," isn't yours. It's an echo, an old wound trying to protect you by keeping you from getting hurt again. But protection through distance is just another form of pain. Now, Nina's journey was about recognizing the voice, but sometimes the pattern looks different. Let me tell you about Carlos. Carlos is 41, a high school English teacher in Chicago. He's been divorced for 3 years, and in those 3 years, he's dated 7 different women. Each relationship followed the same pattern. Month 1, intense connection, everything feels right. Month 2, things get comfortable, she starts opening up. Month 3, Carlos finds a reason to leave. She's too clingy. She wants too much. I need my space. He'd end it kindly, tell himself he was being honest about his needs. But deep down, Carlos knew the truth. He was leaving before they could leave him. The pattern became crystal clear with Lisa. They met at a friend's wedding. She was kind, funny, grounded. For the first time in years, Carlos felt like he could relax. But then, month 3 arrived. Lisa said, "I'm falling for you. and Carlos felt the walls go up. This is too much, too fast. I'm not ready for this. I need to be alone. He ended it. Lisa was hurt but respectful. She said, "I hope you find what you're looking for," and walked away. And Carlos felt nothing at first. Then 2 weeks later, it hit him. Deep, crushing regret. Not because Lisa was perfect, but because he'd just done it again. Pushed away someone who actually cared, because caring felt too dangerous. Carlos joined a men's group, something he'd been avoiding for years, and one night he shared his pattern. An older man in the group said, "When did you first learn that people leave?" Carlos went quiet, then said softly, "I was 7. My mum left. Just left one day." "Did you ever get to say goodbye?" "No." The man nodded. "So you've been saying goodbye first ever since? To protect that 7-year-old who didn't get to?" Carlos started crying. Right there in that circle of men. Because it was true. Every relationship he was recreating that moment. Leaving before being left. Controlling the abandonment. So it wouldn't blindside him again. Carlos started practicing something difficult. Staying. When the urge to run came, he'd practice RAIN. Recognize, this is fear. This is my pattern. Allow, it's okay to feel this. Investigate. What does this 7-year-old need? Nurture. I'm here. I won't abandon you. He reached out to Lisa, told her everything. The pattern, the wound, the fear. "I don't know if I can do this perfectly," he said, "but I want to try, to stay, even when it's scary." Lisa said yes. It's been 8 months, and it's still hard. Carlos still feels the urge to run sometimes. But now, he tells Lisa, "I'm scared. I want to leave, but I'm not going to." And she holds space for that, because she knows it's not about her. It's about a little boy who learned that people disappear, and he's learning, slowly, that some people stay. Carlos's story teaches us safety isn't found in distance. It's found in showing up scared and staying anyway. Running doesn't protect you. It just keeps you lonely. Now Nina learned to recognize the voice. Carlos learned to stay instead of run. But sometimes the wound shows up in a different way. Let me tell you about Amara. Amara is 28, a nurse in Boston. She immigrated from Nigeria when she was 12, and she learned early, you don't depend on anyone. Her parents worked 3 jobs between them. They were exhausted, stretched thin. The message Amara got was, be strong, don't be a burden, handle it yourself. And she did. She put herself through nursing school, built a life, became the person everyone leaned on, but she never learned how to lean back. Amara started dating someone 2 years ago. His name is David. He's gentle, patient, everything she didn't know she needed. But Amara couldn't let him in. When she had a hard day at work, she'd say, "I'm fine." When she was overwhelmed, she'd handle it alone. When she needed support, she'd disappear. David would say, "Let me help you," and Amara would pull away, because somewhere deep inside she believed, if I need him, he'll see me as weak. If I'm weak, he'll leave. So she stayed strong, independent, unreachable. Then, 6 months ago, Amara collapsed at work. Exhaustion. Her body literally gave out. From months of running on empty, she was hospitalized for 2 days. And David came, sat by her bed, brought her things from home. And when she woke up, he said, "You won't let me love you." Amara started to argue. "That's not true. But he stopped her. "I know you love me, but you won't let me love you back. You won't let me see you struggle. You won't let me help. And I can't be in a relationship where I'm only allowed to receive. I want to give too." That moment broke something open in Amara, because he was right. She was so terrified of being abandoned that she was abandoning herself first, keeping David at arm's length, so it wouldn't hurt when he left. But in doing so, she was making sure he could never really reach her. Amara started practicing something that felt impossible, asking for help, small things at first. "Can you pick up groceries? I'm overwhelmed. Can you just sit with me?" Every time she asked, her whole body would tense, waiting for him to say no, waiting for him to see her as a burden. But he never did. He'd just say, "Of course," and show up. And slowly, Amara's nervous system started learning. Oh, I can need someone, and they might stay. She also started practicing a Buddhist teaching on interdependence. The idea that we're not meant to be islands, that needing each other isn't weakness, it's being human. It's been 6 months since the hospital. Amara still struggles with asking for help, but she's learning that receiving love is just as important as giving it. That vulnerability isn't weakness, it's the bridge to real connection, and that the people who truly love you don't want you to be perfect, they want you to be real. Amara's story shows us you can't control whether someone stays, but you can stop pushing them away preemptively. You can let yourself be seen, needs and all, and discover that some people won't run from your humanity. They'll move closer to it. 3 people, 3 different wounds. Nina, whose love came with conditions. Carlos, who learned people disappear. Amara, who learned needing someone meant losing them. But notice what they all discovered. The fear wasn't about the present. It was about the past bleeding into now. And when they could see that, name it, practice something different, everything started to shift. Not perfectly, not all at once, but shift nonetheless. You might be wondering, what made this possible? What did they understand that allowed them to change? This is where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Let's explore what the Buddha knew about this kind of suffering and how you can apply it tonight. Notice what all three people discovered. Nina realized the voice wasn't hers. Carlos saw he was recreating an old goodbye. Amara understood she was protecting herself into loneliness. Different stories, different wounds. But one common thread: the fear they felt in the present wasn't about the present at all. It was about the past playing on repeat. And this is exactly what the Buddha understood 2,500 years ago. The Buddha didn't start as a spiritual teacher. He started as a man who suffered, a prince who had everything but felt the deep ache of impermanence, the fear of loss, the clinging to what couldn't be held. And he spent years trying to understand. Why do we suffer? Not just physical pain, but this deeper ache. This constant feeling that something's wrong, that we're not safe, that what we love will be taken away. And here's what he discovered. The Buddha taught something called tanha. In English, we translate it as attachment or clinging. But it's more specific than that. It's the desperate grasping. That comes from fear of loss. Think of it this way. There's love, and then there's desperate need. Love says, I care about you. Desperate need says, I can't survive without you. Love is open-handed. Desperate need is white-knuckled. And the Buddha said, it's that white-knuckled grip that creates suffering, not the love itself. Think about holding sand. If you hold it gently, hand open, the sand stays. But if you grip it tight, terrified of losing it, it slips through your fingers. The tighter you hold, the more you lose. This is tanha. This is what Nina was doing with Ben, gripping so tight he could barely breathe. This is what Carlos was doing by leaving first, gripping control so tight he couldn't receive love. This is what Amara was doing by never asking for help, gripping independence so tight she was alone. The Buddha saw this pattern everywhere, and he said, the suffering doesn't come from caring. It comes from the desperate clinging that turns love into fear. But here's the radical part. The Buddha also taught something called anatta, non-self. And this might sound abstract, but stay with me. The Buddha asked, who is afraid? When that voice says, they'll leave you, who is that? Is it you? Or is it a thought, a pattern, an old survival strategy that learned to speak in first person? The Buddha taught that what we call I isn't one solid thing. It's a collection. Thoughts, memories, sensations, patterns learned long ago. And here's why this matters for you tonight. That voice saying, you're unlovable. That panic when someone gets close. That's not who you are. That's a visitor, a part of your history that's trying to protect you. using old information. The Buddha used a metaphor. He said, "Imagine a chariot. Is the wheel the chariot? No. Is the axle the chariot? No. Is the frame the chariot? No. The chariot is all these parts working together, but no single part is the chariot itself. You are like that chariot. You're not your fear. You're not your anxiety. You're not that voice saying they'll leave. You're the awareness that holds all of it. And from that awareness, you can watch the fear without becoming it." Nina discovered this. When she asked, "Whose voice is that?" she separated herself from the voice. She saw, "Oh, that's my father's conditioning. That's not the truth about who I am right now." Carlos discovered it too. When he saw the 7-year-old, still trying to protect himself, he could hold that part with compassion, without letting it run his adult life. Amara learned, the part that says don't need anyone is trying to keep me safe. But I'm not 12 anymore. I'm not alone in a new country. I can choose differently now. This is the freedom the Buddha promised, not freedom from feeling. Freedom from being controlled by old feelings that no longer serve you. And there's one more teaching that changes everything. Metta, loving kindness. The Buddha taught that you cannot receive love from others if you can't give it to yourself first. Think about it. If deep down you believe you're unlovable when someone says, "I love you," you'll hear, "You're lying," or "You don't know me yet." The love can't get in because the door is locked from the inside. Metta is the practice of unlocking that door, not through force, through gentleness. It's learning to speak to yourself the way you'd speak to someone you cherish. May I be safe. May I be loved as I am. May I know my own worth. Not as affirmations you have to believe, but as wishes, as possibilities, seeds you're planting. This isn't narcissism. This isn't, "I'm perfect and everyone should love me." It's something much quieter. It's, "I'm human, I'm flawed, and I'm still worthy of love." Nina practiced this every morning. At first, the words felt hollow, but over time, something shifted. Not because she forced herself to believe it, but because she stopped arguing with the possibility. Now you might be thinking, this is beautiful ancient wisdom, but is it real? Here's what's remarkable. Modern science is confirming exactly what the Buddha taught. Attachment theory, developed by John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth, shows that about 70% of people develop insecure attachment patterns in childhood, the exact thing the Buddha called tanha. Neuroscience shows that when you have anxious attachment, your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, is hyperactive. You're not imagining the danger. Your nervous system genuinely perceives threat where there isn't one. It's like having a smoke alarm. That goes off when you light a candle. The alarm isn't broken, it's just miscalibrated. Stephen Porges, who developed polyvagal theory, explains it this way. Your nervous system has different states. There's the state where you feel safe and connected, and there's the state where you're in survival mode. Fight, flight, or freeze. If you grew up in an environment where love wasn't safe, your nervous system learned to live in survival mode. Even when the danger is gone, the alarm keeps ringing. But here's the hopeful part. Your nervous system can learn new patterns. It's called neuroplasticity. The brain isn't fixed. When you practice feeling safe, even in small moments, you're literally rewiring neural pathways. Research on metta practice shows measurable changes. In just 8 weeks, brain scans show increased activity in areas associated with empathy and compassion, including compassion for yourself. The practice doesn't just make you feel better emotionally, it changes your brain structure. And when your brain changes, your attachment patterns can change too. So what does all of this mean for you lying here tonight? It means your fear is real, but it's based on old data. The threat your nervous system is responding to happened years ago. The person in front of you now isn't the person who hurt you then. You're not destined to repeat this pattern forever. What was learned can be unlearned, not by thinking differently, but by practicing feeling safe in small moments over and over until your nervous system updates its information. The Buddha taught this through meditation, through metta, through watching thoughts without believing them. Science confirms it through neuroplasticity, through polyvagal regulation, through the research on secure attachment. Different languages, same truth. You can heal. So tonight, we're going to practice, not as a theory, as a real, tangible experience you can return to any time the fear shows up. Let's begin. Before we begin, I want you to know something important. You don't have to do all of this perfectly. You don't have to remember every practice. You don't have to become someone who never feels afraid. That's not the goal. The goal is much simpler: to have tools you can reach for when the fear shows up, to know you're not powerless, to learn that you can feel the fear and choose a different response. Progress, not perfection. One small shift at a time. And please be patient with your nervous system. It's not being difficult. It's trying to keep you safe, using the only strategies it knows. You're teaching it new ones. That takes time. Let's practice together right now. The first practice is for those moments when the panic hits, when that thought comes, they're going to leave me, and your chest tightens, your breath gets shallow, your mind starts spinning. When that happens, your nervous system has gone into threat mode. And here's the thing, you can't think your way out of it. You have to bring yourself back to the present. back to safety through your body. We're going to use something called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding. It's simple and it works. Let's do it together now. Wherever you are, gently open your eyes, or, if you prefer, keep them closed and use your other senses. Name 5 things you can see right now, not in your head. Actually notice them. The corner of the ceiling, the shadow on the wall, your hand, the texture of the blanket, the faint light coming through. Take your time. Now, 4 things you can hear. Maybe your own breath, a distant sound outside, the hum of silence itself, the rustle of fabric as you breathe. Good. 3 things you can physically feel. The weight of your body against the bed, the temperature of the air on your skin, your hands touching each other or resting on your chest. 2 things you can smell. Maybe the scent of your pillow, the faint smell of the room, and 1 thing you can taste, even if it's just the inside of your mouth. Notice how you feel now, a little more here, a little more present. You just practiced bringing yourself from the fear of what might happen to the reality of what is, right here, right now. And in this moment, you're okay. You're safe. This practice doesn't make the fear disappear, but it reminds your nervous system, there's no actual threat right now. I'm safe in this moment, and that's enough. You can use this anytime. In the middle of the night when your mind is spinning, before sending a text you're worried about, when you're waiting for them to respond and the anxiety builds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring yourself back. The second practice is for when you're lying here at night and the fear is heavy. Not the quick panic, but that deep, aching fear that sits on your chest and whispers all your doubts. For this, we'll use RAIN. It's a Buddhist practice, adapted for modern therapy, and it's 4 simple steps. R stands for recognize. When the fear comes, name it. Not, I'm afraid, but this is fear. This is my attachment wound. This is that old pattern. You're not the fear. The fear is here, but it's not all of who you are. A stands for allow. Don't push the fear away. Don't judge yourself for feeling it. Just let it be here. You might say silently, it's okay to feel this. I'm not broken for feeling afraid. This isn't giving up. This is making space. When you stop fighting the fear, it has less power over you. I stands for investigate. Get curious. Where do you feel this fear in your body? Is it in your chest, your throat, your stomach? What does it need? Usually, it needs safety, reassurance, A reminder that you're not 7 years old anymore, that this person in front of you isn't the person who left. And N stands for nurture. Place a hand on your heart. Feel the warmth of your own hand and speak to that scared part of you the way you'd speak to a frightened child. I'm here. I see you. You're safe now. I won't abandon you. Give yourself what you're seeking from others. Let's practice this now. Think of a fear you've been carrying. Maybe it's about your relationship. Maybe it's about being alone. Don't force it. Just let something rise. Now, recognize it. This is fear of abandonment. This is my anxious attachment. Say it silently. Name it. Allow it to be here. It's okay that I feel this. You don't have to fix it right now. Just acknowledge it. Investigate. Where do you feel it? Place your attention there. Is it heavy, tight, aching? What does this part of you need? And now, nurture. Place your hand on your heart. Feel your own touch and say to yourself, I'm here with you. You're not alone. I see how hard this is. You're safe now. This is self-compassion, not indulgence, not weakness. This is you becoming the safe person you've been looking for. Because here's what research shows. When you practice self-compassion, your brain releases oxytocin, the same hormone released when someone else comforts you. Your own kindness toward yourself has the same biochemical effect as receiving kindness from another. You can give yourself what you're seeking. Use RAIN whenever the fear feels big. It takes about 90 seconds, and it teaches your nervous system, I can hold my own fear. I don't need to panic about the panic. The third practice is for building long-term security. Not just managing the fear when it comes, but slowly rewiring the deeper pattern. This is metta practice, loving kindness meditation. Here's how it works. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you start analyzing texts or worrying, sit for 5 minutes, hand on your heart, and say these words, may I be safe. May I be loved as I am. May I be free from fear. May I know my own worth. At first, these might feel like lies. Your mind might argue, but I'm not safe. But I'm not worthy. That's okay. You're not trying to force belief. You're planting seeds. You're offering possibilities to a nervous system that's been living in fear. Over time, something shifts. Not because you convinced yourself, but because you stopped arguing with the possibility that you could be loved, that you could be enough, that you could feel safe. And once the door cracks open, even slightly, love can start to get in. After you practice metta for yourself, extend it to the person you're afraid of losing. May they be safe. May they be free. May they love me freely, not from obligation. This last one is important. When you wish for them to love you freely, you're releasing that desperate grip. You're saying, I don't want you to stay because you feel trapped. I want you to stay because you choose me. And paradoxically, that's when love becomes possible. When you stop gripping, they can actually reach you. 5 minutes every morning. That's it. And here's one more practice. This one is for when you're actually in relationship, when the fear comes up, and you feel the urge to test them, to push them away, to analyze every word they said. Instead of acting out the fear, name it. Say to your partner, I'm feeling scared right now. My attachment stuff is coming up. Can you reassure me that we're okay? It might feel vulnerable, embarrassing even. But here's what happens. When you name the fear instead of acting it out, your partner can actually help. They can say, yes, we're okay. I'm not going anywhere. And your nervous system hears that. It starts to learn. Oh, I can be scared and still be safe. I can share my fear and not be rejected. This is called co-regulation. Your partner's nervous system can help regulate yours, but only if you let them in. Only if you're honest about what's happening, instead of pushing them away or testing them. Nina did this with Ben. Carlos learned to do this with Lisa, and it changed everything. Not because the fear went away, but because they stopped being alone with it. So here's what you have now, when panic hits in the moment. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, grounding. When fear is heavy at night, rain practice. For long-term rewiring, metta every morning. In relationship, name the fear, ask for reassurance. You don't have to do all of these. Pick one, the one that feels most accessible, and try it tomorrow, just once. See what happens. That's all. Because here's the truth. You don't heal by doing everything perfectly. You heal by showing up imperfectly, consistently, and trusting that small practices create big changes. One breath at a time. One moment at a time, one choice at a time. You're already doing it, right now, right here. You showed up tonight. That's the practice. Now, let's bring all of this together and guide you into rest. Let's bring everything together now. Tonight, you heard stories. Nina, who learned the voice saying, "You're a fraud," wasn't hers. It was an old wound speaking. Carlos, who discovered he'd been saying goodbye first, to protect that 7-year-old boy who didn't get to. Amara, who realized she was so scared of being abandoned that she was abandoning herself first. 3 different people, 3 different wounds, but one common thread. The fear wasn't about the present. It was about the past bleeding into now. And when they could see that, name it, practice something different, everything started to shift. Not perfectly, not all at once, but shift nonetheless. You also learned the Buddha's teaching about attachment, how love becomes suffering when we grip it too tight, how your fear isn't who you are. It's just a visitor, a pattern learned long ago, and how self-compassion isn't weakness. It's the foundation of being able to receive love at all. These aren't just ideas. Modern neuroscience confirms them. Your nervous system learned closeness equals danger, but your nervous system can also learn I can be scared and still be safe. That's neuroplasticity. That's the brain's ability to rewire itself. And you practiced tonight. You felt your breath. You tried RAIN. You planted seeds for self-compassion tomorrow morning. These aren't complicated. 5 minutes of real presence is worth more than an hour of distracted effort. Now, here's something important. You don't need to remember every word I've said. You don't need to get it all right. Your body already knows how to rest. Your nervous system already knows how to feel safe. All you've learned tonight, it's not new information. It's remembering what you already are. Beneath the noise, beneath the fear, beneath the stories. So let it all go now. The teachings, the practices, even these words. Just let it all go. Feel your body now. Notice how it's already beginning to settle. Your breath a little slower than when we started. Your shoulders dropping down. Your jaw releasing its grip. Each exhale carries something away. Tension, effort, the need to control. You don't have to do anything now. You don't have to fix anything. You don't have to figure anything out. For these next few minutes, you can simply be heavy, held, at rest. The night is here, and the night is kind. It asks nothing of you. It simply holds you as you are. Let yourself be held. Your body is sinking now, down, deeper, into the bed, into the earth beneath. Gravity is doing the work. You don't have to try, just notice. The weight of your head on the pillow, the weight of your arms by your sides, the weight of your legs, so heavy now. Everything settling, safe. Let's rest together now. May you know deep in your bones that you are lovable, exactly as you are. Not when you're perfect, not when you've proven yourself, not when you've earned it, right now, as you are. May you learn to hold love gently, not desperately, to receive it without gripping it, to trust it without testing it. May you feel safe in closeness, safe enough to show up scared and stay anyway. May the voice that says, "You're not enough," grow quieter, and may you recognize it for what it is, not the truth, but an old fear trying to keep you safe in the only way it knows how. May you be patient with that fear. May you hold it with compassion, and may you know that you can feel afraid and still be loved. May you wake tomorrow feeling lighter, a little less defended, a little more open. May you remember your worth is not measured by whether someone stays. Your worth is inherent. You already belong. You always have. There's nothing left to do now. No one to convince, no fear to solve, no grip to maintain. Just this breath, this moment, this soft, safe darkness. You can let go now. Everything, everything, let go. Your body is so heavy now, sinking down deeper, held by the earth, held by the night, held by something older than words, safe. Your breath, so quiet now, barely there, rising, falling like waves on a distant shore. Nothing to hold on to, nothing to fear, just this. Rest. Sleep. Rest well, friend.